Greetings everybody, I am Batman. But then the New 52 rolled around and I became Solidus-Skully, rebooted for the next generation, here to welcome you back to Batman Arkham Asylum. Back on the trail of Dr. Young's Titan formula notes, we are now heading our way to her office, which requires us taking a bit of a scenic route there, where we may just discover, well, basically what are some adjustments to the original Arkham Mansion that were made in the wake of Amadeus Arkham feeling righteous fury where he missed the fountain pen. And, yeah, we'll find out that his cell was in fact in his humble abode. Quite, cruel and tragic, actually, but again, this is all stuff that you learn based on the whole Spirit of Arkham dealio, detailing his backstory alongside, well, Amadeus Arkham's profile. Yes, he was apparently also a practitioner of gyromancy as he spun around and around and around and around, and if you want to know what gyromancy is like, well, I practice it myself. And I'm not even joking about that. There was a video on the channel where I practiced gyromancy, and it's a perfectly cromulent practice for predicting things. Yeah. This part is going to be a little bit difficult to commentate over because I already pretty much discussed what's going on at present. Joker looking for Dr. Young's Titan notes. What Titan basically is, again triggering Venom-like transformations within a lot of Arkham's patients. And yeah, Joker wants to get his hands on it, and yeah, he's gonna get an army of monsters because Joker's gonna spank your butt, spank you on the butt? And that's a completely wrong character. Well, I mean, again, off topic of the already off-topic topic, but yeah, Jester in Devil May Cry 3 was initially named Joker. Kinda have to wonder why they changed it. I mean, it is still technically a line in some of the files that you can dig up, but weird. Were they worried about getting sued by DC, or was it because of the fact that they had, you know, one of the Persona artists designing Dante and Virgil's Devil Trigger that they thought that Atlas might have a problem with them using the term Joker, which is also a character in Persona? I have no idea, really. But in the meantime, though, in terms of more relevant things on gameplay, this is Dr. Young's office. Barred off because, you know, she's an intelligent young lady, despite being blinded by her scientific research, but yeah. It seems she didn't account for the thugs not thinking about air ventilation. Well, I mean, again, I also have to bring this up in terms of, you know, how smart is the average criminal, you know, the whole, hey, I'm walking here, typical, what are we gonna do next, boss, criminal notwithstanding, but, you know, you would have thought that they would have gotten the idea of, hey, Joey, looks like there's an air vent leading into the office. Maybe we should climb up there, kinda like what the Batman does. Or, you know, being thugs, maybe pickpocket one of the guards', you know, keys. In fact, they do have Warden Sharp at present, so couldn't Joker or Harley just, bug the old man for, you know, security codes and give them access to the place? Well, I mean, then again, I suppose this also goes down to Joker going, sorry, next time I'll be more careful when planning a hostile takeover. So, yeah, seems the Joker ain't quite as smart as he thought he was. By the way, this is Ra's al Ghul. What exactly is he doing in Arkham? I have no idea. And, yeah, to kind of go into the whole Ra's al Ghul thing, I don't know why specifically he's in Arkham Asylum. Maybe City might shed some light on that if the one of the Arkham City stories, I'm not really too sure, but yeah, this is the real Ra's al Ghul, and to prove that, if you come back here much later in the game after solving that riddle, yeah, Ra's body is gone. Quite mysterious. And yeah, to kind of clear up the whole name thing of, you know, is it Ra's or Ra's al Ghul? I've kind of heard a bit of back and forth on this. I recall the original creator, I think, saying that it was meant to be Raz initially, but then he just sort of went with Ra's. Then there was another thing where, again, I know the Nolan movies went with, you know, Ra's al Ghul because I think that's meant to be the correct pronunciation within that specific tongue, but yeah, the animated series called him Ra's. Batman Beyond had Raz himself correcting it as, Ra's al Ghul is a cruel translation. It is Ra's. And I say, oh, that's actually a bit of a spoiler for the episode, really, but it's the episode where Talia al Ghul comes back and we get to see Terry McGinnis and Bruce Wayne, young again, fighting side by side. Nostalgia. But onto anything else, really. Cobwebs aplenty, big enough ventilation cells for us to crawl through. Does this game take place during the fall, or are those dead leaves clogging up the ventilation system? How the hell do you clean this stuff out? Again, this is really just sort of something for me to wonder on my own time, but still, how do you clean out vents when they're that small?
Someone has already got to the safe. The only question now is, who opened it? No sign of forced entry. Whoever opened it knew the combination. Let's see. Good. Dr. Young got to her notes before Joker. She's taken them to hide somewhere. I need to follow her and find out where she put them.
Ah, clever, clever shrew. Seems she has hidden her notes somewhere else in the mansion. Roxas, to the mansion! We have Dr. Young's notes to find out, so she can lead us to the nobodies. Oh god, I'm really in a Kingdom Hearts mood at the moment, and that's just because I'm playing through Birth by Sleep. Although I still have Kingdom Hearts 2 on the brain, probably because that's a much better game. Oh, yes, I went there. But of course, to quickly cover my tracks, we also have Black Mask. A character who does technically appear in Arkham City in one of the multiplayer challenges for Robin, I think. But yeah, he doesn't really do much else. I have heard, actually, that, I think it was it Birds of Prey, or was it fucking... I'm pretty sure it was the Birds of Prey movie, where he was apparently played interestingly by, fuck, what was his name again? I have the name Ian McKellen in my brain, but I know that's not correct. It's not, Ian McKellen, it's, Ewan McGregor, I think, who played Roman Sionis. I don't know if he was Black Mask in that movie, I haven't even seen the fucking thing. But I heard from a friend of mine that he was apparently good, so, yeah, albeit more of a crazier Black Mask than in fact we've seen, but... yeah, nothing more to say on that matter. Black Mask, he sure does exist. In fact, he's pretty much on the same level of villains like fucking Humpty Dumpty and fucking Ragman. Well, you know what, I tell a lie, because, Ragman from, the Batman 2004 series was actually quite an interesting addition. A fun character, nothing too special, but still rather fun on that show. In any case, now we have the... God, I do apologize for that blinding your eyes with the seizure-inducing vision. I hope to God you're not watching in full screen or in a dark room, because that would be quite painful. But yes, now we have Prince going all over the place. And this is pretty much where you follow off to the other side of the Arkham Mansion, where we could have gone earlier to find the notes if we had some precognition, although I think we would have had to have gone back here anyway in order to save the guards to find out where the notes are, to hop on the frog on the log into the house that Jack built. Whew. Is that meant to be anatomy? Because I swear to God I just saw a buttock right there. I mean, I'm not even saying that to be immature. That was either a map or that was anatomy, which would have made sense, because Dr. Young is probably somebody who doesn't get a lot of, sexy fun times in favor of her research, so whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Padding for time. Because I can be emotionally honest. I'm not here, Batman's hiding. Bugger. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't have time to lace explosive gels, so this is pretty much gonna have to do. Slam! I really should play the 60s Batman theme during one of these fights. I mean, I do have it on file, as you did see with some of the transitions, so... yeah. And I do plan to do something quite special with a few specific Batman themes later. It'll involve destroying my enemy, the Riddler. But yeah, that'll come in due time, really. And, yeah, one of the things that makes the throw move a little bit more pointless to use rather than the instant takedown move is the fact that, yeah, the throws don't instantly knock out thugs even when you're at the end of a combo, so... it's kind of unfortunate, really. Again, the best thing you can do with the throws, as I believe I might have alluded to earlier, is just throw them up against, you know, an electrical barrier and then have them get knocked out that way, but... again, you can't throw them off ledges, because that would violate Batman's no-kill code, and even then there's an invisible wall anyway to ensure that even reality is on the Batman side. So sadly, it's a bit of a pointless mechanic, which is why they took it out for Arkham City. Can't remember if they brought it back for Arkham Knight or Origins, it's been a while since I played those two games, but... yeah, them's the breaks, really. And now we gotta find some trivia. But I can't think of anything that isn't spoiler territory and or, you know, stuff to do. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can bring up, actually, is that, again, back in 2009, if you had the PlayStation 3 version of Arkham Asylum, yes, Joker was actually, playable for his own specific challenge maps. And again, to kind of explain what challenge maps are, they pretty much take the same sort of basic, you know, Predator mode gameplay slash beat-em-up thugs area things, Basically, it was a bit of a instant gameplay replay value, just add water with a score system, but in the PS3 version, you got to play as Joker. Had his own unique gadgets, he had his own unique fighting style, similar enough to Batman, you know, rhythmic gameplay, except he just had his own bells and whistles, like, you know, instead of using batarangs to take people out, you know, he had, you know, a giant novelty gun, or he had the Joker teeth that you could use to attack people with walking feet that exploded, or you could use his X-ray vision goggles to see through walls. Just little stuff like that. Again, it's nothing major, and I'm pretty sure if I don't already have it recorded, then I'll record it myself, because I'm worried that I might have deleted it after my hard drive was a bit too filled up with commentary files, which I had to do a bit of cleaning recently, and I really should be getting myself an additional hard drive so I can save stuff that isn't, you know, relative to what I'm doing now. Again, that's, but then again, that's nothing new for the Skully reviews, Solidus-Skully commentary, Wifflemotron, having footage that I'll never use for years at a time, and then running out of space, and I'm like, oh no, I have to choose which I want to get rid of and which I need. And then when I need it, I suddenly don't have it, so it's just a losing battle. Time and time again. Another riddle. The Penguin. And, yeah, the concept art they show for the Penguin, because he does eventually show up in Arkham City and Arkham Knight, and Origins as well. But yeah, it's also a factor that, well, his look is clearly based on the animated series look for the first 3 seasons before they had the art style change, and, yeah, he looks quite different from the, oh yeah, Batman, I'm gonna kick your ass because I'm a fucking lovey. I know that accent sounded a bit more Australian, but it's basically Nolan North doing his best tough British on the streets chav kind of impression. Yeah, he looks very different when you see him in the Arkham City, which we will be getting to at some point, because I do quite like Arkham City. If slightly less than I like Arkham Asylum, but, you know, both games have their positives and negatives, so I'm not gonna judge too harshly. Yes. Although I will say, though, there have been some rather wacky interpretations of the Penguin from, you know, some of the more bizarre ones, like, you know, the 2004 Batman series giving him, you know, martial arts and kung fu, and, you know, 2 rather badass henchwomen as, you know, Japanese, geisha girls. But then there's also some of the ones that are bizarrely cool, but then also bizarrely off-putting, like the Danny DeVito Penguin, which, I mean, I will admit was played very well by Danny DeVito, and it was at least interesting enough for that version of the movie, but not the ideal Penguin thing, because Tim Burton seemed to be on a bit of an Edward Scissorhands kick when he was designing Penguin's character for Batman Returns. It seemed a little bit more like a what if Edward Scissorhands, except grotesque and evil? I don't know, it's a little bit weird to go into without really watching Batman Returns, but, you know, at the same time, though, there's not really too much to say in this part in and of itself. So yeah, that was the Penguin. Whack, 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 whack. And, by the way, in terms of actor trivia, yeah, the guy who played Penguin in the 60s show was also, Rocky's trainer, actually, because he didn't have no manager. Burgess Meredith is his name, by the way. Whack, 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 whack. By the way, the infamous whack, 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 whack thing, it wasn't done because, you know, Burgess Meredith thought, oh, he's a penguin, so obviously he makes penguin noises. No, he actually made those specific noises because, again, the penguin was pretty much required to smoke a cigar during the 60s show, so in order to cover up a lot of Burgess Meredith's coughing, he invented that whack, 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 in order to cover up the fact that he needed to cough every time he was, you know, smoking a cigarette, which, again, is a bit of a neat little character quirk to disguise coughing, which, I mean, and again, I'm not really too sure if this was the same way for a lot of American television shows as it was, you know, for Britain and Australia, but again, like, I mean, if you dried, you know, during recording, you pretty much had to do all that again, because retakes were a fucking rarity back then. Like, I mean, even if World War III was going on, television shows pretty much just had to roll with it and keep on going, and keep whatever mistakes in, because, film and, you know, videotape negatives were rather expensive. Which is part of the reason why a lot of ancient television shows don't really exist anymore, because back then, they sort of viewed television as like a disposable medium. It went out on a Saturday night, that's it, never see it again. Thank God for videotape era culture, because, Jesus Christ, preservation is a wonderful thing. And it's doubly so relevant for video games, given the fact that, you know, recent figures have shown that, yeah, only about... Again, I might not be accurate if, in reading the figures, but it was like less than 13% of video games have ever been preserved. And I mean, even stuff up to into as far as, you know, the PlayStation 2 era is getting lost to time unless we work to preserve it now, which... Yeah, I mean, again, there have been a couple of videos talking about the topic in and of itself, but yeah, that's... Whew. It's kind of a shame, really, which is why, again, physical media is a beautiful thing. I know a lot of people go all digital because it's a little bit more convenient in recent years, but it is important to hold on to physical media, make sure that it's preserved and, you know, maintained. Like, kind of in a similar vein to, you know, how records made a comeback, really. Again, a lot of it's more for the novelty than anything else, but again, like, I mean, the fact that they're preserving a medium and you at least have a physical means in which, you know, a lot of music is still preserved in a physical space, that's important, and, you know... The fact that, you know, the issue of game preservation is being raised in terms of awareness is a good thing, and I really hope to God that it continues. I know I know a lot of what I'm talking about is completely off topic to Batman Arkham Asylum, because, oh look, there's a Batman game in the background, but... Yeah, the only thing relevant at this point is basically, well, Joker has 2 people hostage and we gotta go save them. And I mean, I will, but Batman also has an important mission to preserve media and video games. Or at least he would if he was me, if I was the Batman, like I claim at the beginning of these videos.
Oh, how frustrating. Thought it was going to be easy, didn't you? Has tonight taught you nothing? In 2 minutes, the room will fill with happy gas. The audience will be in fits of ecstasy. Then die.
And in another example of a really neat detail you can use in this game, you can actually, before, you know, you go down to witness 2 of the hostages, you can actually zoom right back up here, and when you rip off the grate, Joker will actually accuse Batman of reading the last page, reading the last page first, and, yeah, basically giving you a cut-down timer to rescue the hostages. And again, it's all these little details that Rocksteady put into the game that really do make me smile, and... You know, even though it probably is a much more costly and painstaking development process, it's the sort of stuff that you really... Well, I say you don't really see anymore, but there is part of a reason for that, in the sense that, again, because of inflated developer, you know, budgets and all that sort of thing, yeah, you don't really tend to get a lot of, you know, great little details like this, like you would have seen in, you know, not just Arkham Asylum's time, but also in the days of games like Metal Gear Solid 2 or Max Payne. You know, just little nuances that really make these games feel alive and unique. Oh, we got a giant present. Wally me. I think I'll be fine.
Remember the hostages? They're entering their final 60 seconds of remembering to breathe. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Just 30 seconds left. I hope all that running about hasn't ruined that exquisite costume of yours.
Psych. And you thought I was gonna let them die. But fear not, good citizen, because a hero always saves the day at the last second. Makes for great tension, and I bet you really thought I was gonna show you a game over. Oh dear God, what's wrong with me? That's not very heroic. It seems like I was turning into the Joker. Well, I hope Jokerization isn't a thing in this Arkham series, otherwise that would be quite maddening. And also very funny when people call me Pudding. But yeah, this is also twofold actually, because not only do we save people, but we also find where Dr. Young's notes are. I mean, I'm pretty much just popping about looking for Riddler trophies, but I believe it's down there. Or if it is up here, then we didn't need to save people at all. Well, I mean, that's a lie. We have to save people, as is our quota of being the Batman. But no, in the meantime, I'm just searching for Riddler trophies. Because the immediate threat is dealt with. The hostages are saved. But the greater threat of the Riddler is still out there. But yeah, we're pretty much going to be ending this part by the time we find out where the notes are, and even though you can actually easily see where it is, even without detective mode actually, you won't actually, or Batman himself won't actually know where it is until he scans it. See, you can see the notes jutting out right there, which is a bit foolish of Dr. Young, but who am I to judge? So on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Oracle, I found Dr. Young's formula.
Great. So does that mean you've stopped Joker?
It's never this simple with him.